Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is February 6th, 2016. My name is Leslie Williams. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see me as clearly as you see this one right now because of the way this camera is. I'm taking a close-up of the calendar, so when I take the video camera and prop it up so you can see me, you might not be able to see me as clear, and I apologize for that, but that's just the way the camera operates. So, let me just go ahead and set this up so you can see me. Hey, how you doing? Alright, now, the reason why I showed you a video picture of my cell phone is because I like to, I'm going to be making a few predictions in this video, and if what I predict comes true after today's time and date, it'll continue to prove that I am a victim of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. There's a bee around me right now, and I got a head cold this morning, so I'm going to be blowing my nose intermittently as well. Now this is going to be what is known, I hate to call it a tidbit video, because, well, actually it is a tidbit video. Just bear with me just 1 second, okay? Now, what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be exposing a bunch of different things that are incorporated within the crime of this of organized stalking. This crime also is called gang stalking. It's not stalking by gangs, even though the criminal expedition of this crime can use gang members when need be. Gangs can actually initiate this crime. To give you an example of that, hold on 1 second, let me just blow my nose. Stay with this video, I guarantee you'll be glad. It's gonna blow your mind. Hold on. I woke up this morning with a head cold. Now, I'm not gonna be able to talk real loud in this video because of where I'm at. Hold on 1 second. Now, when you watch my videos, and at the beginning of them, when I say watch this video, you'll be glad you did, that means that as this video gets rolling, okay, you're going to start hearing things that are going to make your mouth open and your jaw drop. So trust me when I tell you, stay with this video, okay? Now, I've been made homeless as a result of being a victim of this crime. It's all, every description that I state in this video, pertaining to how they operate, the tactics and methods used, who they are connected to, who can perpetrate these criminal realities. Type in all descriptions that I state, okay, to organized stalking, then in separate searches, gang stalking, to each description. Because this crime is, the way it's exposed on the internet, okay, is that sometimes you'll get better information when you type in a description to organized stalking, and then sometimes it'll be vice versa with the gang stalking, when you type it in with gang stalking. Okay, now, what I do, as a part of what I do to prove that I am a victim of this extreme criminal reality, this crime is basically literally one of the most worst crimes that can happen to a human being. And make no mistake about it, I'm not engaging in emotionalism, okay? And my statements are just because this crime is involved in so many different criminal motivations and how they bring them about. This crime is literally being deemed as one of the most horrific and heinous crimes that can ever be perpetrated against any human being. So make no mistake about it when I tell you this factual reality is not being made as a result of emotionalism or bitterness or resentment. And you'll understand that as I continue to talk, and also when you research like some blog titles and links that I'm going to incorporate within this video. So, now I'm a little cold right now, so I'm going to take this camper down in order to take one of my jackets off that I'm using to prop up the video. And I apologize that I didn't have that done before I started the video, but I've been kind of maneuvering around in the sun, and I didn't think I'd need the jacket when I started the video, so just make sure I didn't accidentally hit the record button. Okay, so here we go. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to share some history concerning what's happened to me. I'm going to explain to you how it was done, who was involved, But you know what I think I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to start getting more bolder and exposing what's happening to me by listing absolutely right now, okay, as soon as I explain what the lists are, who's been involved in the gang stalking campaign towards me. Now, before I do that, just hear me out. Cyber surveillance is a methodology of these crimes, which means that the perpetrators absolutely monitor all communications of the targeted individual, their cell phone, their mail, any type of mail service, okay? Every bit of our internet activity, including our emails, our YouTube accounts, anything and everything that we do online is monitored by these filthy, criminal, maggot, rat-ass animal whores. Hold on. Stay with this video. Okay. Now, I'm also going to interject one more thing before I start describing who's on this list that I'm talking about. But the list is not the entire. It's not gonna expose every single place I've been gang stalked at, and obviously the employees and stuff like that took a role in it at the places that I don't mention. Do you see this one right here? Now remember, Google each description to gang stalking, then in a separate search to organized stalking. In this video, I'll probably just say when I say the descriptions like gang stalking and rape, gang stalking and robbery, gang stalking and staged assaults, okay, I'll either call it gang stalking in this video or organized stalking, or just a combination of both. So, go to Google and type in GPS tracking of gang stalking target cell phones. Okay, even when the battery's out. Now, you can also go to Google and type. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I accidentally hit something on my phone. You can also go to Google and research how they can tap into a target's phone, even when the battery's out. Okay, and YouTube it as well. And use the speaker that you speak into when you're talking to someone as a microphone, so they can literally hear what any target individual is saying if they got their cell phone on with them anywhere. They can also hack into the camera on their phone. Okay. Now you might think to yourself, well, how can they do this with the battery out? Well, I'm gonna just basically state a brief description about that, so you can see that it is a factual reality, and then I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Do you know how, like, if you've ever had even a phone, a video camera, a tape recorder, anything electronic, when you take the batteries out for whatever reason, the battery died, it got damaged, it just, whatever, okay, and you take that battery out for a day or two, or even just 3 or 4 hours, and then you put a new battery in it, or a battery that's working in it, okay, in these electronic devices. Now, what most electronic devices will do, if you have taken the battery out for more than 90 seconds, is you'll have to reset the time and date. But all the internal instructions that is incorporated within the internal software, the machine language that runs the electronic device. See, in your electronic devices, you have a thing called RAM, which is random access memory, and then you also have ROM, which is read-only memory. These are the internal instructions that these circuit chips that are inside this the printed circuit board. See, you got RAM chips and ROM chips that are embedded within the printed circuit board of these electronic devices. These chips hold the internal machine language instructions for how to. The random access memory is what pretty much controls the software, the direction of the software. But well, let me just backtrack 1 second. Trust me. Now, the read-only memory is what basically holds all the instructions for how to direct the software that runs the applications, okay, and all the internal functions concerning how the system operates, and all the features within your phone, the system features, okay. Now, do you notice that when you take a battery out for whatever reason, if it's for 90 seconds or more, you'll have to reset the date and time, okay, because the date and time is actually held within the internal memory through the random access memory. Okay, the function that enables you to program the date and time is held in the read-only memory. Now, you might think to yourself, well, how is all this stuff still stored within these chips? Okay, when the battery has been out for 90 seconds or more. It's called capacitors. Have you ever heard, like, either from your parents, your dad will tell you certain things in order to keep you safe when you were younger, to never take apart any appliance like a microwave, a TV, even a computer monitor or the computer itself, even when it's unplugged? Now, the reason why they told you to do that is because the capacitors within these big electronic devices, especially CRTs like monitors and TVs, they hold a big unit of charge that is stored within these electronic devices. Okay, now the reason why that is because the capacitors that hold these unit of charges is what is keeping the internal instructions within these read-only memory and random access memory chips. Okay, that is what is keeping those functions charged so they can stay active within the phone. So basically what I'm telling you is that the perpetrators and their sophisticated technology can hack into any internal function of any electronic device as a result of the device still having a frequency that is emitting through it. They're basically hacking in through RF filtering. Now, if you don't know anything about electronics, that's okay. You don't need to know. But what I just told you will help you understand that this is how your electronic devices are able to keep the stored instructions in it. So when you put the battery back in it and boot the phone or back on or the tape recorder or whatever, it automatically brings up your applications and the internal machine instructions that guide the software that then guides the applications. So this is how they're able to do it. So you can research what I'm telling you, so you can see I'm telling you the truth concerning that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. There's even security firms that are not aware of this sophisticated technology, and other security firms are. Okay, the ones that are the security firms that are extremely sophisticated in reference to their knowledge, they will say that they're not sure, but it's not impossible. Now, fellow American citizens, my name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. I live in La Jolla. Trust me when I tell you this, it is occurring. Okay? So, as a result of my statements that I'm making right now, they could literally hear any targeted individual's conversation that they're having. If their cell phone is on, a tape recorder can even be used as a microphone. Okay, because you got to remember, the microphone on a tape recorder is nothing but a speaker. Okay, that you're using to record, just like this is nothing but a speaker in here. They can use it and tap into it and use it as a microphone. Just like there's an application in here for sound recording. Okay, so make no mistake about it. And when you go to Google and you type in gang stalking, hacking into targets' phones, phone microphones, it's all over the internet. Hold on. Now, I'll get to the list in a second. The reason why I told you this is because what I do when I wake up in the morning and before I go to bed at night is I'll take my tape recorder and I'll make predictions about what might happen towards me at the area that I'm resting at. Okay? And this does not just mean areas that I sleep at, but also areas that I go to be by myself at, to rest at. Okay, I'll make statements in my tape recorder. Okay, and sometimes maybe even in a video file on my phone or in this video camera, I'll make a statement. I'll say, I'm getting ready to leave the area. Let's see if anybody approaches me. Okay, and I'll make this statement maybe 10 or 15 minutes before I leave the area, even 5 minutes before. Now, if they're hacking into my phone, they can hear when I wake up because it's quiet, and then when I wake up, noise is being made. Okay, so they can ascertain when I'm awake, when I'm still in my tent. Now, I'm going to interject another thing, and then I'm going to expand on this a little bit more, and then just hear me out, because I guarantee you, you'll be glad you watched this video. Okay. Another thing that they will do that you can absolutely investigate, that it's all over the internet that they do, is that they will enter your home when you're not at home, okay, and install miniature video cameras and audio devices so they can listen to what you're doing in your home. okay, as a added feature of the surveillance. Okay, added meaning the cell phone is not the only thing that they will use for surveillance. Hold on. Now, when you research the direct conversation method of gang stalking on the internet extensively, you will see that it's not just being employed as a result of computer hacking, but it's also being employed as a result of cell phone hacking, and because of them entering your home, your office, your car, okay, and propping up miniature video cameras, audio surveillance, okay, and then they will also engage in a technique which is called covert physical surveillance, where they will either use Duke community members who have been lied to about the target. Go to YouTube and type in "Listen to a Stranger." Okay, that's the name of a YouTube title. Every single thing in that YouTube is absolutely gang stalking techniques, methods, tactics, and maneuvers. Okay, hold on. Now, when you research how extensively what I just stated, do you honestly, and then how you can also go to Google and type in how they will gang stalk you to apartment complexes, your house, motel rooms, and then along your routes, do you honestly think that they will not gang stalk a targeted individual to their camping area and or resting area? Go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids. Okay, now you'll clearly hear that target state that he's harassed everywhere he goes, including at his own home. You'll also hear Lieutenant Larry Richards from the Santa Cruz Police Department flat out state that this crime's been going on forever and that it's even reached out into the cyber world. Okay, now remember, what I'm doing right now is I'm basically building a foundation for you to build on, so you can see how they operate. Now, hold on, let me blow my nose. Excuse me. I woke up with a bad nose cold. Now, you might think to yourself, why am I telling you all this? Well, I'm telling you this so you can understand the follow-up statements and the fact that they do this. Hold on. I apologize for sneezing. Hold on. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because, oh, by the way, if anybody approaches me in any area within 300 feet of me while I'm here, or claims that they heard me or saw my property, it'll be nothing but a flat-out complete lie, directly connected to organized stalking. Okay, now, fellow American citizens, think about it this way. When you have two football teams playing each other, and if one football team knew the playbook of the other football team, they would know how they're going to behave in each play before the play begins. Do you understand? Same concept. Whenever we know what somebody's going to do, and if we have ill intentions towards them, but they know that what they're doing is criminal, they have to dress it up to make it appear that what they're doing to a target is happening through normal appearing reasons and excuses, or normal appearing mishaps. Do you understand? Normal appearing reasons and excuses, or normal appearing mishaps. Like, if a target mails their rent, if they don't mail that rent certified mail return receipt, they can steal that out of the mail and just claim it got lost in the mail. Go to Google and type in mail theft and mail delayment and gang stalking. Okay? They can also, if a target individual has been made homeless and has went somewhere to be by themselves or to camp at, they know that the target individual is engaging in illegal lodging, illegal encroachment, trespassing. They will then prop up any useful idiot that they can use and or paid off individuals like homeless people, drug addicts, alcoholics, mentally ill people, people that have already crimes on their records. Okay, so to make it appear that the staged assault, the staged robbery, the staged rape, the staged arrest, the staged event that brought about the arrest or the ticket is happening because the target was in an area they shouldn't have been in. Now, fellow American citizens, what I am telling you is the truth. I know it through absolute experience and extreme educated knowledge. Knowledge is data based on facts. Knowledge, okay, what we know, comes from data that is based on facts, not opinions or speculation or conjecture. Knowledge is data based on facts. Okay, so when you have a target individual who's been a target of this crime now, I've been an open target of this crime now since 2002. It's now 2016, so let's take a look at that. That's 14 years I've been a victim of this crime. 14 years. Now, when you take the absolute extensive experience that I have with being a victim of this crime, and then you combine that with the massive amounts of with the massive amounts of educated knowledge that stems from massive, exhaustive research, do you honestly think that what's coming out of my mouth is bullshit? I don't think so. So hear me when I tell you what I'm about to expose. So, let me just light a cigarette and blow my nose real fast, and I can't help it that I gotta take breaks to blow my nose because I got a massive nose cold. Hold on. I'm a little video shy, so excuse me when I act a little silly. Now, I'm even going to prove to you that I'm a victim of this crime in this video by eventually playing you two small Instagram audio files of me flat out being gang stalked right out in the open. Okay. And once you listen to them, once I explain to you what they are, and once you listen to them, you're gonna think to yourself, absolutely. Okay, so now I have requested over 30 separate times, separate dates, separate locations, separate incidences for SDPD, SDSD, UCSD, and SDSU and USD police to make a police report that I'm being gang stalked in San Diego, California, in San Diego County. I was told no to my face each and every time. And the two Instagram audios that I'm going to play to you in this video from this phone, okay, were literally played in the physical presence of at least 12 different police officers. San Diego Police and UCSD Police. Okay? Now, 12 different police officers at least on 6 different occasions. 2 police officers per occasion. When I played them, what you're going to hear eventually, the phone was literally held up to their ear, or at least this close to their head. Now, I'm going to the lengths of showing you this physical example, because once you hear the evidence of these individuals yelling what they're yelling, then you are automatically going to be able to deduce that what the police said after they heard what I played them was nothing but bullshit. They basically said they couldn't understand what they were saying. Now go to Google and type in police and gang stalking. Just do it. Research it extensively. Hold on. Now I'm going to say a statement here real fast before I continue. Not all police officers are directly connected to the organized crime syndicates in the system that are managing and perpetrating these criminal realities. I don't believe so. I don't have any evidence yet to prove that. But when you look at my just aforementioned statements concerning how many police officers have refused my right to make a police report, who is controlling them concerning the ones who weren't syndicated members? Who's controlling them? It's obviously a higher up, because nobody should be able to, if even just 2 of these police officers, okay, were not part of the syndicate, then they obviously got their instructions from somebody, because the response was always the same when they were showed this evidence, and when I requested to make a police report that I'm being gang stalked. I've even showed them massive amounts of text messages that these filthy perpetrators have sent to my phone. Absolutely. They didn't care, including detectives. They didn't care one bit. They basically showed me the door, leaving me in the continued victimization of this criminal reality until the criminal motivation can be achieved. So they're basically buying time. Now, I want you to also listen to this as well. This campaign literally stole my rent out of the mail. United States Postal Service, which is a federal agency, okay, the rent was mailed certified mail return receipt. I used the receipt number from that receipt, okay, Now you can go to USPS Postal Service and you can ask the postal clerk to explain to you what certified mail return receipt is, and you'll automatically conclude once you understand it that there's no way that the rent could have been stolen out of the mail by anybody else but a post officer, by a post employee, because the rent was never delivered. I tracked to confirm if it was delivered for 8 months each month after it was mailed. And the track and confirm website on United States Postal Service website was showing that it was still not delivered. I just gave up and stopped tracking it. Okay, now when you go to Google and you type in mail theft and mail delayment and gang stalking, postal workers and gang stalking, think to yourself, and I am not lying, and the rent that was the actual money that was put in the envelope was a United States Postal Service money order. So, fellow American citizens, when you research on the internet how one of the main motivations of gang stalking pertaining to what they do to their victims is to create the homelessness, we can obviously deduce that it was an intentional, complete malice aforethought, conspiracy crime. Whenever you engage in any kind of crime, you have to have a thought process about how you're going to commit it. That's what conspiracy is. Conspiring to do a crime. Absolutely. And there are laws and penal codes and government codes and statutes, okay, and civil codes pertaining to conspiracy. Now, when you use a federal agency to do something like this, that's a federal offense. Do you really think the federal government is going to prosecute itself when it's all over the internet that the federal government is involved in this crime? Hold on. Do you really think so? Hold on. So let's take a look at what I've stated so far. Let me just check the batteries real fast. Alright. Let's take a look at what I've stated so far. Everything that I've stated you can Google on YouTube, all depending on the description. Everything you can Google, some things you'll be able to investigate through YouTube. Okay? Hold on. Now, when you get the information that comes up per description and then cross-reference it to bring it together in order to be able to create a picture about how these filthy maggots operate, okay, you'll clearly be able to deduce that these are organized crime members in this system using their employment descriptions to achieve their objectives. Now you might think to yourself, well, what are their objectives? Well, this crime is involved in every criminal motivation that you can think of. What I'm explaining to you are their tactics, methods, maneuvers to achieve the schemes, and the schemes are connected to the criminal motivation. Okay, basically what this is an incremental implemented campaign in order to produce effects and circumstances so that then the effects and circumstances can be exploited in order to end up exploiting the target. Illegal syndicated probate control for racketeering, massive violations of the RICO Act, human trafficking, insurance fraud like you would not believe, land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, equity co-opting, trust fund liquidation, identity theft, prostitution, human trafficking, drug dealing, you name it. Every stolen car rings, every type of crime that you can think of, they are connected to and involved. Okay, so when you have a single, and 70% of targets are single women. Do the math on that. So when you research, I'm going to get to that list in a minute. When you research how easy it is for them to get property owners and landlords on board to stage events at apartment complexes, so then that event can be blamed on the target so they can then evict the target. There's a bunch of different types of little maneuvers that they can engage in order to make it appear that the eviction of a target is happening through normal appearing reasons or excuses. They will also break into a target's home and intentionally leave calling cards in order to let the target know that their privacy has been violated. Now, when you're doing that to a woman, okay, well, you better believe it's going to make her feel unsafe, especially if the woman's got children, okay? Now, when you combine that technique alone, when you combine that technique with the other techniques that they will bring about against an organized stalking, gang stalking targeted at a motel room, okay, or an apartment complex, you can easily see that this crime will even motivate the target to just get up and leave and move to another apartment complex. Because when this crime first starts, the target doesn't even know what's happening to him in his gang stalking, so they just believe that they've moved into an apartment complex that's, that's filled with lowlifes or just really extreme bad neighbors and a screwed up landlord. Okay. That's right. That's right. Make no mistake about it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So, fellow American citizens, there's a bunch of different little maneuvers and techniques and methods that they can use to creatively create the homelessness. And then there's a bunch of different techniques that they can use, which is achieved through this surveillance, all the types of surveillance that I've already aforementioned, that can keep the homelessness ongoing. Think about it this way. If you have a police officer or an individual impersonating a police officer and combine that with a fake bogus criminal investigation file, and then when you realize that the target individual is being tracked in real time at all times, even down to the foot, whether they're stationary or mobile, okay, they can see, and then when you combine that with the cyber surveillance, they can see if a target individual is looking up an apartment complex to go and try and rent an apartment or a motel. Now, since these filthy rats are in the system, and when you combine that with what's exposed in the Listen to a Stranger YouTube video, you can clearly see that they can intimidate and or influence any property owner or manager of any apartment complex or motel to not rent to a target. Because they tell these aforementioned descriptions that the target's under criminal investigation for extreme crimes, or that they're, any type of crime that you can think of, that they will label a target as being involved in, when they're actually involved in the crimes that they're claiming a target is involved in. That's one of the actual mind rapes. Hold on. I didn't explain that very well, but just let me hold on a minute. In other words, they'll claim that a target is a drug dealer when they actually are. Now, you might think to yourself, well, that was pretty simple. Okay, but it's true. Google it. And you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Okay, hold on. So do you really think that a property owner or a landlord is going to want to rent to this type of person? They'll claim that the woman's involved in prostitution or anything, or is under investigation for anything. Okay? Now, this is done to keep the homelessness current. Okay? So what they'll do, hold on, is they'll see if a target is looking up an apartment to rent or a motel to go to. And what they'll do is go there first, or wait till the target leaves, and then approach the people that basically take care of that property, whether it be landlord, property owner, motel manager, whatever. So go to that YouTube video, Listen to a Stranger. And this is literally what is incorporated within the schemes of gang stalking in order to keep the homelessness ongoing. Why? Because they want to be able to exploit it. Now, the target, they know that a human being has to sleep. They know that the target individual, they also monitor the target's assets. So they know that the target individual, how much money they got. Okay? So they will track the target to their camping area, or the area where they rest at. Okay, and they will stage events. They will also prop up other homeless individuals that have been bought off with God only knows what. Okay, charity services that these filthy rats are connected to. Any charity you can think of, including churches. Okay, because homeless people are easily bought off. Okay, they're easily relocated, and the police can absolutely use them as a normal apparent excuse of how are we supposed to find them, Leslie? They're homeless. They took off. They're homeless. Even if you get a video picture of them, they'll act like they don't know who they are. Absolutely. And if an assault takes place, they'll jam the target's cell phone so they can't call 911 until the filthy maggot is left. They'll bring homeless people to camp out around you and have that homeless person leave, but have their tents and everything propped up, and then they'll use a third party to claim that their property was seen. The police will be called, they'll act like they're coming here for that, and then pretend they're stumbling across the target. And or what they'll do is literally stage a physical assault that's so bad, they know the target will call the police. Now, this is done for falsified information sheets, falsified police reports, and falsified police reports concerning the target's homelessness. They repeat these events then over time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, so they can have it a matter of their record in their system how long the target's been homeless. Then what they'll start doing is and including making statements within these information sheets, police reports, and incident reports that we believe Miss Williams has a mental illness because she won't get out of the homelessness, even though we offered her homeless services. Okay, go to Google and type in homeless shelters and gang stalking, churches and gang stalking, domestic violence shelters and gang stalking, women's shelters and gang stalking, low-income housing and gang stalking, Section 8 and gang stalking. Do it. So basically, in order to get illegal probate control, which would be illegal when it's attached to these campaigns, they have to make it appear that the target individual is mentally ill, a threat to themselves or others, and or can't take care of themselves. So they'll step in and petition the courts and the state to take legal custody of them using these aforementioned complete lies. And this is done so they can co-opt the target's existing finances, their Social Security or pension, whatever. Hold on. And or so they can apply for state, federal and state funds per client that they get a hold of and put in group homes or institutions. And they can even do this for jails and detention centers. Absolutely. Racketeering. Okay. They will also engage in insurance. Like when you apply for disability in a person's name that you got probate control over as a result of using this false mental diagnosis that they attach to a target in order to get the probate control, Medicare is attached to those benefits. And this is where the continued gang stalking in these isolated environments occur, staged events. The target's then blamed for them and told that they got to go to a psychiatric for to get on medication to control their mental illness that they say is causing the disturbances. And this is where the doctors, nurses, administrative staff, and even the security of hospitals and medical centers can be attached to these crimes. Google these descriptions. And this is done for the massive insurance fraud because these staged events are repeated for the continued insurance fraud and for the continued falsified diagnoses so they can keep the diagnoses current so they can keep the probate control continuous. So the crime can continue. The target individual's food and or drink and or medication can be drugged so the target individual gets knocked out. They bring in individuals into that environment to rape them. They will videotape it, okay, and sell it to pornography groups. They will also pay off syndicate members with sex of women that they have knocked out. So you can go to YouTube and type in stalked in San Antonio, okay? Now, this is money off of, so far, at least 4 different angles. The human trafficking, the pornography, okay, the insurance fraud, the applying for federal, state, and local funds. And so what do you think the 4th one is? Hold on. The 4th one has to do with a crime that you're gonna initially hear, and you're gonna think to yourself, this is complete insanity. Really? So then why is it all over the internet that this is another aspect of the criminal motivations of these filthy maggots? And there's also a manifesto that's on the internet right now that was literally written by a manager of gang stalking crews. You can go to it by Googling a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. Understand, extremely experienced and educated target individuals have dissected this blog, and we are all saying the same exact identical thing, that this is an actual manifesto of a manager of gang stalking. But make no mistake about it, what is incorporated within this manifesto is not the entire scope of who they are and who they're connected to and how they operate. It's organized crime in the system at the federal, state, county, city, and local, levels. And they work as a network syndicate. Now, they also have syndicate members out within different employment descriptions, telephone company personnel, utility company personnel, any type of business you can think of, literally corporations and institutions, universities, colleges, and I've even read shit on the internet that this shit is happening to middle school age children. Make no mistake about it. So, I don't know how well you can see me right now because of the sun, but I apologize if you can't see me too good. Hold on one second. So, You can also go to Google and type in alphabet agencies, any alphabet agency that you can think of in gang stalking. So, in order to get the syndicated probate control, they gotta have information, okay, in order to petition the court to get it. And this is where the absolute police and fire department personnel, their EMS and or regular ambulatory services. So Google ambulances and gang stalking, ambulance services. Google fire department and gang stalking, police and gang stalking. Now, you can also go to Google and type in neighbors and gang stalking. When a target individual tries to find a wooded area to go to and there's neighbors close by, they can be notified using the already described methods that they use. Remember the YouTube video, Listen to a Stranger, in order to get their cooperation to act as a buffer between the target and the police. They're not just using homeless people, they're also using neighbors. They'll use anybody. Kids, teenagers, neighbors, adults, students, homeless people, veterans, the elderly. They will use anybody and everybody that they can in order to make it appear that the police have a normal appearing reason to approach a target after a staged event, or somebody claiming that they heard the target, saw the target, or saw the target's property, or acting like they're stumbling across the target. And here's another tidbit of information for you. Do you see this tape recorder? The evidence that I had put online from my tape recorders, okay, you can see in the video files that are online that the evidence came from the tape recorder. You can clearly hear me in the videos, in which I'll tell you a blog title so you can see that my videos are online because they're incorporated within a blog. You can clearly see me in these YouTube videos showing the tape recorder and the evidence being transferred from it to the video file. And you'll clearly be able to hear me state in these videos that this tape recorder is running on me and recording at all times. Now, since cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking, they know it. That this tape recorder is running on me at all times. Absolutely. So when they prop up these little filthy maggots to approach me, no matter who they use, homeless men, homeless women, kids, neighbors, teenagers, adults, anybody who is acting like they're in the area for normal appearing reasons, who are then claiming that I was heard, seen, or my property was seen, they're told what to say as they're approaching me, approaching the area, or in my physical presence. That's right. So my own tape recorder will make it appear that they're in my presence through normal appearing reasons and excuses, while they're gaslighting me with gang stalking physical gestures in order to intentionally, mentally let me know that they're actually here because of gang stalking. So go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Catches Gang Stalker Admitting Sent to Harass, Read Comments." That's the title of the YouTube video. You'll see I literally caught 3 teenagers admitting they were put on the 928 bus on January 28, 2012 to engage in these physical gestures, a bus I was already on, which was the same bus route that I was assaulted on. Go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Brutally Assaulted on an NTS Bus" and dissect every single thing slowly and meticulously that is in the description of that YouTube video. Cross-reference dates to what I was exposing to then the date of the evidence and what the evidence is. Okay, now, I've also caught at least 4 other people admitting that they were put in my physical presence to engage intentionally in these physical gestures. Go to Google and type in "Sensitization Methods in Gang Stalking, Physical Gestures, and Repeating Words and Phrases." Now, I'm going to get back to another small part in this video concerning why they will set up audio and video surveillance in a target's home, office, car, or their camping area. Now, say if you have a targeted individual, in order for them to give a targeted individual a ticket for illegal trespassing, illegal encroachment, which means bringing their property to an area, okay, which is illegal encroachment, or illegal lodging, which is camping or sleeping on somebody's property, they got to know when the targeted individual has arrived on that property, which they do through the GPS tracking, and any hidden video cameras and any type of audio surveillance. Now, when you research this extensively, you'll see I'm telling you the truth, and that it's reasonable for any target to conclude that when they went to an area, dropped off property like sleeping bags or whatever, then left that area to maybe go get water or groceries, that the filthy rats came into the area and propped up their video cameras. because as a result of tracking anybody to any target's phone, they can, like, if they're tracking this one, which I already know they are, because this phone was hacked like you would not believe, okay? And this is my new phone. They can see that I'm sitting here and that I'm not moving, which means they can track me down to the foot. When I pick up this phone and put it in my pocket or wherever, and then start walking 10 feet away and stop, they can see how far I walked. So, if they're, which is all over the internet, that are involved in GPS tracking of a target's phone. Hold on. I got a massive head cold. Okay. They can see when I've arrived on the property. They can see how long I sat at a specific spot. Like if I went to an area and slept for 8 hours, they can see through with the microphone. Well, they can see that if it, you know, I mean, come on, it's 10 o'clock at night, okay? It's night. Alright, what do you think they know? They believe that a target is doing there if they've been there for 8 hours? They obviously have deduced that they're sleeping. And if they've hacked into their phone and used it as a microphone, if the target's not making no noise, then they've obviously also deduced that they're sleeping. They can also bring up individuals into the area at 3 o'clock in the morning. If the target's sleeping, they can easily deduce that as well. So they then know the physical proximity of where the target is using to sleep at. They wait till the target leaves for whatever errands they need to run, water, groceries, whatever, laundry, whatever, and then prop up the hidden cameras and audio surveillance so they can watch the target from a distance concerning what they're doing in real time, which means what they're currently doing. Now, that's when they can easily then know when the target has not gotten out of their tent yet, okay, is still sleeping, or when the tent is still up, whether the target's in or out of it and not taken down yet. And this is then where they will then prop up the police or a staged event that can bring about the police, okay, for these illegal lodging tickets, encroachment tickets, and trespassing tickets, and arrest. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Hold on. Let me give you an example about this. Concerning where I'm at on this property right now. Let me check the batteries. Shoot, I only got 4 minutes left in this video. Alright, I only got 4 minutes left in this video, so what I'm going to do is when this video stops, I'm going to make another one, so this will be a 2-part video series, okay? So if it doesn't get titled right away, just look for another video that's at least 30 minutes long. Okay, and at the beginning of that, I'll say this is the continuation of the first video. Okay. Now, another thing that they can easily do, well, I'm going to basically state what I was going to state. A selected target individual was on a property. They were using one area in that property to sleep at. They left the area, came back, was gone all day, came back, and another homeless person had propped up all their shit and completely took over that area, sandwiching out, squeezing out that target into another spot on that property that was more open, secluded somewhat, secluded enough to where nobody can see them unless they come up on the property, but more open on the property. Now, that target individual made a video at that very spot. As they were making a video, okay, they were talking about how they were harassed on a prior date at that spot concerning how individuals that rode their bike by said a specific word and phrase that they had been sensitized to. Once that video was made, a time and date stamp was incorporated on that video file. Now, when the target individual was at that spot on a separate date afterwards, with their tape recorder running, they caught the same exact word and phrase being said as the target individual was sitting at that spot, showing the stalking on more than one occasion. Okay, hold on. Now, sensitizing the target to a word, phrase, physical gesture, and other things is their way to mentally let the target know that they're being tracked and harassed. Okay? Because they gotta know where the target's at in order to repeat these things. It's a clever method to let you know you're being stalked. Hold on. So, go into this YouTube channel. If this video is not titled right away, the second video will not be put in the description of this YouTube. If the second video is not put in the description of this YouTube video, go into this YouTube channel and look for videos that were uploaded on the same date. Do it. And you'll see the second video of this 2-part video series. I gotta go so I can start the second video. Thank you for listening. Go to this YouTube channel and look for that video. Thank you.